All right, so we are going to start with laser cutting preparation. You should have the original file, be it the positive or the negative cube, it doesn't matter. It should perfectly fit within a 6x6x6 cube. If your cube is not 6x6, you need to scale it to be, okay? So this is the distance here. I'm measuring 6 inches. If your cube is 48 feet or something else, you need to make sure that you scale it down to be precisely 6-inch cube. Once you do that, I would like you to have a clean file. There shouldn't be any other geometry in the file. It should be just one layer with your cube as a 3D geometry. And then you're going to create one new layer, let's call it curves. And here we will create all these layers that we will need to stack to create our model. So I'm going to activate the curves layer and I will run the contour command. Where is the base? It's at the very bottom of the work. The direction perpendicular to the planes. So I can either go vertical or horizontal. Either way is totally cool. You just need to glue it either vertically or horizontally. Both are totally fine. So for this, I'm going to run it horizontally, which means that the layers are going to be cut vertically, okay? So they are going to cut perpendicular to the direction that I'm pointing. So I'm pointing that way. It says, what's the distance between the contours? The distance between the contours is the thickness of your cork, right? So the cork that you're ordering, be it a 6-inch tile or a 12-inch tile, it doesn't matter, both have 1/4-inch thickness, okay? So here I specify 1/4 inch for my thickness, and boom, it creates a series of contours for me. All right, how many did it create? It created 24. If you multiply it, 24 times 1/4 inch will be exactly 6 inches width. All right, so you have 24 contours. This is what it looks like in top view. And I had already pre-selected this layer, so when I turn it on and off, you see that my lines are on their own layer. All I have to do now is separate them out and lay it flat so they can be cut parallel, like a series of templates that look like this. So you're going to end up with 24 such templates, like the ones I'm showing you here. Some of them are identical, as you may guess, because you're cutting very tightly here when your design is not really changing, right? So some may look identical. So what I'm doing from top view, I'm separating this out a little bit. I'm gonna push these guys back. You wanna do this in an organized fashion so there is enough room for you to lay these guys flat. Give yourself enough room, move these contours forward little by little. You see how I make the selection in a way that I only select one at a time, but I don't just click on it because that selects only a piece, right? I want to be able to make a quick selection of this entire layer, right? So that's the fastest way to do it, is from the top view and move it over. Why do I move it over? Because I want to rotate it. I can do this from the perspective mode. So here I type 90 degrees and boom, you know, here is my first template. When I print it, it's going to look like this. When I say print, I mean cut with a laser cutter. It's like almost like printing it. The second one over, I select here, print. Ready to print it, ready to cut. Okay, so I move these guys over one by one. It's not an infinite number, it's just 24. How many do you really need? Depends on the material that you buy. If you buy the 6-inch tiles, a 2 6-pack is 12 pieces. So you're going to end up with 12 items. That's all you have. So all you need is the first 12 layers in your case, okay? If you buy the 12-inch, a 6-pack, you're going to have more material. This is also totally fine. So let me just turn around here. So to just speed up the process, I will assume here, okay, I'll make one more. Okay, here, turn it 90 degrees. Okay, so now I have 6. If you keep going, you do the other 6, all right, this is already half your model. Just to speed up the process, I will just create a copy here, assume that you did it, all right? So these are 12 tiles. If you buy the 6-inch pack, 2 packs, then that's all the tiles you have. Remember the zero waste approach? If you cut, you're cutting both positive and negative, all right? So this is your positive, and the leftover is not waste. The leftover is your negative model. So you're going to get 2 out of this. This is model 1, positive. This is model 2, negative. So when you stack them together, the positive and the negative, you're going to get the 12-inch cube. Sorry, 6-inch square cube. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
Questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I got a question. So
Yes.
like all of these are they look the same, right?
Which ones? These tiles here, 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 here.
Yeah.
They don't look the same. They should be unique if you cut through your model. The first couple will look identical, then the pattern will change. It will repeat a couple of times and then it will change again and again and again. Right? So some of them are repetitive. Just to speed up the process, I copied them over here just to do it faster, okay? But yours should be unique.
Oh, okay.
All right, so you're not copying your, like I did, I just did it just to speed it up. You should be using all these unique cuts that you do when you do the contour command, okay? Do you see how the very first 4 or 5 are identical and then this changes? So these are not identical and then it will change again and again. All right, if you do get the 12 by 12, the difference is the following. I'm going to make a 12 by 12, 12 by 12 rectangle. Basically, you will be able to fit 4 tiles on it. So the first 4, I'm going to copy them over here. You need to remember the order, otherwise it will become really, really confusing. You can even number your tiles if you want. It's really like a puzzle. And when these shapes come out of the printer, there are going to be so many. You really want to make sure that you know which one is where and where it goes. So you see, this is my 12 by 12, and I'm able to fit 4 tiles on it. So that's the only difference. If you buy the 12 by 12 tiles, you have to organize it like I'm showing you here. If you buy the 6 by 6, you're gonna just lay them out differently. That's the only difference, okay? How many such tiles you have? I'm just going to make duplicates just for demonstration purposes. In your case, it's gonna be unique patterns, okay? But you're gonna have multiple 12 by 12 tiles that are gonna be subdivided in 4 6 by 6 each. So far, so good. How I made the pieces. Okay, so let me demonstrate that one more time. I'm going to use my original cube. Let me move this over here. I have my cube in its own layer, 3D geometry, and then I create another layer, just call it curves, separate. I can make these red, something so you can see it, okay? And this is my active layer now. So I'm ready to create the pieces, all right, the tiles. So I select the entire thing, the cube and the geometrical pieces in it, and I type contour. What's the base point is at the very bottom of my cube. What's the direction perpendicular to the contours? Again, you can go either way. You can run it that way, right, left. You can also go up any of these directions is fine. Whichever way you prefer is totally cool. If I run it horizontal, it's going to cut perpendicular to that direction. If I cut it vertical, like I will do now, I just need to make sure I snap correctly on the corner. It will run it horizontally for me, so I don't have to turn it. It will be automatically horizontal. What is the distance between the contours? It's 1/4 inch. So I type that in. In this case, it already remembers it from earlier. And I hit OK, and boom. Here are my contours. This time, I ran it horizontally. OK. Now, since I did it horizontally, I don't have to flip to rotate them. They are already horizontal. So for me to be able to separate them apart, I need to find my work here. All right, and be able to separate it. So I can turn off the cue. And I can move this a little bit over so it's not confusing. And now I can select little by little and place it flat on the ground. Where is the ground? The ground is on the grid. So I need you to lay it flat. So let me move this over. They cannot be flying in space all over this place. Okay, so I'm going to activate grid snap. And I'm going near here. And I'm going to make sure that I snap on the grid. Great. Now let me find my work. And one by one, I'm going to lay it flat. Okay. Next, I take the move command and I place it here, down here. And then the next layer, you see I select it on the right view, and then I get it from here. If it behaves a little bit erratically, you can, again, as always, place a target here so you can zoom in more smoothly. I take the move command and I place it right next to it. How tightly you place them, it doesn't matter if because they're going to be cut individually. If otherwise you have to put them very, very tightly together to fit the 12 by 12. So here again, I'm working from the right view to grab the top layer. And then I grab it again with my move command from perspective and place it flat down on the ground, make sure it snaps on the grid. And I can also observe it here, see if I'm doing it well. Okay. I can change the color so it looks it's a little bit easier to read. Any questions so far? So I demonstrated both with a horizontal series of layers and a vertical series of layers. Either way is totally fine. Questions? Yes, I will post the recording.